All right, Brett Okamoto here with your ESPN MMA rankings for January 23rd, 2018. And today, let's talk about the welterweight division. Let's talk about Rory MacDonald. In 2016, when Bellator MMA signed Rory MacDonald as a free agent, a lot of us in the industry said this is the biggest free agent acquisition in Bellator history. And why? Because Rory MacDonald has a claim to being the #1 welterweight on the planet. Not just a highly ranked welterweight, but the top dog, the best 170-pound fighter in the world. Now, this last weekend, Rory MacDonald defeated Douglas Lima via unanimous decision in Los Angeles, a very underrated Douglas Lima, to win Bellator's 170-pound title. So the question now is, does the best welterweight in the world fight for Bellator MMA? Is it Rory MacDonald? I would say not quite yet. That distinction still belongs to UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley, who actually has lost to Rory MacDonald back in 2014, but that was the last time Woodley has lost a fight. And recently, fans have been a little bit unhappy with Tyron Woodley, saying his title fights are boring, there's a lack of activity, he can't finish his opponents. But when you look at the caliber of guys that Woodley is fighting, and Damian Maia, who was competing at the highest level of his career, arguably, Stephen Thompson, a very tricky karate-based style welterweight, he fought him back-to-back twice. He knocked out Robbie Lawler to win the UFC welterweight championship. I think Tyron Woodley, you can't move him from that #1 spot. However, Rory MacDonald is doing what Bellator wanted, what Bellator had in mind when they signed him in 2016, and that is creating that conversation that do they have the best fighter in one of these weight categories. If you have Rory MacDonald at #1, I can't argue with it too much. He has been on an absolute tear. But for now, Tyron Woodley is still my #1 welterweight in the world.